Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 68 of Screw the Commute podcast. Oh, we got a long-time friend and colleague on today, Bryan Caplovitz. He's the founder of Speaker Match. I've known him for a long time, and I've never heard one bad thing about his service in all the years I've known him. And believe me, if there was something going on in the speaker world, I would have heard about it. So he's a great guy. We'll talk to him in a minute. Hope you didn't miss episode 67, which is how to refer me for money. Referral fees can run anywhere from $13.50 to over $5,000. So it's kind of a spin-off of very specific affiliate marketing. We told you about in episode 67. Then a quick announcement. Our podcast app is now in the App Store. So you can do lots of cool stuff conveniently right from your mobile device, and you can download it from the App Store for pretty sure it's just for iPhones now. We're still working on the Google or the Android one because Google Podcast has had a little trouble. All right, our sponsor for today's episode is the Wake 'em Up Video Professional Speaking System. It's the best-selling ever pro speaking training. Yeah, I know most of you hate public speaking, but there's way more ways that you can make money running your mouth than just being on stage. And if you don't believe me, listen to episode 007, where I showed you the top 10 ways to make money speaking. Or you can check out the system directly at antion.com/speakervideo.htm, and that'll be in the show notes. This is episode 68. All right, let's get to the main event. Bryan Caplovitz is the president and CEO of SpeakerMatch.com, the world's largest online speakers bureau. Speaker Match helps line up thousands of speakers on all topics with meeting and event planners who need speakers, from local service clubs to the biggest speaking events in America. Speaker Match has been in business for nearly 20 years. Bryan, are you ready to screw?
I am ready.
The
Tom.
commute, that is. Yeah. Hey, man, it's been a long time. And before we get into it, you're somewhat of a geek. I did not know that. You know about databases and all that. I was reading some of your bio on LinkedIn. Man, you know some stuff, but boy, I'd be afraid to touch the databases. Gee whiz. But anyway, you're a combo geek and super duper entrepreneur. So tell them how you came up through the ranks.
Well, it's funny. Yes, I am a programmer. I am a bit of a geek, and I came to this from that background. I actually met you at an NSA conference, and you gave me some information about search engine optimization that kind of helped me realize that I could actually make a business out of this. So yeah. I met you before I even had a real business going. It was just an idea.
Well, NSA, for everybody, is National Speakers Association. He and I have both been members for a long time, and I guess that's where we met. So you didn't have a business at that time, huh?
I didn't have a business at all. I had an idea. I was brand new to the speaker world. I didn't even know that it existed, but that is kind of just the market that I fell into. I'm really all about the back-end technology stuff that goes into it more than the actual business. But since I've been doing this for so long, I very much know the speaker world.
Well, yeah, but I don't quite believe that, Bryan, because I saw in your background you had at least a year or more worth of actual customer service work, right?
I did a lot of customer service.
And I imagine that has something to do with the success of your business, because like I said, I've never heard one bad thing about your business, and that truly means you've got a great customer service operation going there too.
Well, that is really good to hear. It's very important to me that I maintain that high level of service.
So tell us a little bit about the jobs you've had, and then the when did you make that did you like just quit one day and start a business, or did you plan it out? Or how did you make the transition from the working world to the entrepreneurial world?
No, I've had lots of jobs, and I never thought of myself as an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
I really never thought I'd be owning my own business or running my own business. But looking back at it now, I realize that I have had the entrepreneurial spirit since my whole life. When I was young, I sold greeting cards door to door. When I was about 10 years old. Before that, I had magic shows, I had lemonade stands. I mean, I was always doing something. My whole life, I've always been doing some kind of business. But after grad school, I went to work for a consulting firm, and I thought that I was pretty much set there in that kind of world, working in the corporate world. In the the time of the tech bust, late 90s, a lot of my coworkers were getting laid off, and I didn't have any assignments. I was just kind of sitting, we call it on the beach in the consulting world, and I was waiting for the next thing to come up. And I was ready to be laid off any day. And my boss told me that I could make some extra money if I would go speak at some conferences. So I'm like, you're going to pay me for not working, and you'll pay me extra to go speak somewhere, to go travel, which is what I really love to do.
Okay.
And when I started looking for places to speak, I realized that it wasn't easy. There was nothing online to find opportunities.
What did they want you to speak about? To help promote the company, or what?
Yeah, it was database development was my area of expertise. Database development and user interface design.
Oh, that's a big motivational thing there.
It's not at all jump around. Yeah, not at all jump around the stage motivational stuff. I usually had, a screen with my laptop, shown on it, and everybody else in the room had their laptops open, copying code. But that's a tech conference for you.
Yep.
But I had other people in the same position as me at my company that were looking for places to speak too. So I had people that were looking for places to speak, and I had places to speak because I was calling around finding people. And I was matching people and working with things online. So I came up with the idea of making a monster.com for speakers. And like I said, I didn't know there was a speaking world. I thought I invented the speaker bureau.
Maybe you did. I don't know. So, all right. So you started a speakers bureau. Were you still working at the time?
I was working at the time. There was a while between the time that I started playing with this whole idea of creating a website. And websites were new. Certainly data-driven websites were almost non-existent. Almost everybody had like an advertising page on the web.
Right.
So it was a great way for me to build my skills and enhance the services that I could offer, or the skills that I had to offer the company I was working for. And it took a while before I finally did get laid off. And then when I did get laid off, I had a very nice severance package. George Bush, I believe, extended unemployment forever. And so I had a long time when I just got to keep playing with my little project.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting paid more not working than I was being paid working, because I was getting my severance and my unemployment.
And were you speaking during that time also?
I went to a couple of conferences. I did a couple myself on PowerPoint presentations.
Right.
So still kind of technical, but it kind of came to a point where I had to decide that I was either going to go get a real job or make this project work. And I decided I'd try to make some money at it.
Okay, now, speakers bureaus, from my perspective, typically book speakers take a percentage of the fee. Yours doesn't operate like that, does it?
That's how I started.
Okay.
I started thinking, I'll just take a fee. I never made a single penny by getting a fee when I was getting started. I spent a lot of time sending materials to meeting planners. I had to collect the materials from the speaker because the bureau acts as a middleman. So I had to get the speakers to send me their demo video, their DVD, or a video cassette. It was actually a cassette. And they sent me their package, and then I had to package everything up again, to the meeting planner with several of these speaker kits, and then send that to the meeting planner. All this cost me money, FedEx and everything. And then the meeting planner would say, we decided to go with a different speaker. We're going with a different bureau. And I thought, after this was only about a month that I spent doing this, I thought, this is stupid. I can spend my whole life. It's like a real estate agent that drives somebody around town looking at all kinds of houses, and then the client decides to go buy from a number they called on a sign when they were driving home.
Right.
So I decided that I was going to change that model. And my model became a subscription model. I offer speakers the ability to create a profile, to put their information up online so that meeting planners can learn all about them and what they have to offer. And the speakers can apply to any jobs that meeting planners post. And I am out of the picture. I just provide the tool for them to use. I get a subscription fee, whether or not the speakers get booked. That's not really my issue. They're getting value for what they're paying for because they have a platform to promote themselves, and they have somewhere that they can send meeting planners when a meeting planner wants to, learn more about them as a speaker. And the speakers do get leads. They find out about opportunities they wouldn't have found out about otherwise. And my service is very inexpensive, so it's certainly not a big investment.
Yeah, and it's worked for 20 years, so it's certainly proven itself in the marketplace. And then another really important thing you brought up for our entrepreneurs out here is that you saw something, you had an idea that is very viable, but the method you were using was not viable. So you switched rather than just run it into the ground and say, well, that idea was no good. You saw it early enough and you switched and turned it into a 20-year business. And so that's a good lesson for everybody. Don't get stuck in one rut that there's only one way. This way has been way better for everybody because, one good job that a speaker gets from you could pay your subscription fee for 10 years probably. Something
absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it could, it's a good deal because the regular bureau, is going to take thousands of dollars from a decent fee speaker, and they could pay your service for a long time. Do they have to be exclusive with you, or can they be with another bureau and still use your service? So could they be with another, is your service exclusive, or could they be with another bureau and still list with you and get their own jobs? So how's that work?
Yeah, my message is first of all, I'm catering to the emerging speaker. So people that are using my service typically are not, they're not out there. They're not being represented by bureaus or anything else. So I encourage them to be seen as much as possible. I encourage speakers to be listed on every possible source they can find. Just be out there and be seen. That's the main message that I have with my service, is that meeting planners can't possibly book you if they don't know you exist. And you can't possibly get a job if you don't know that it's out there either. But you want meeting planners to know, who you are, and they need to be able to find you.
So is it just you've been around so long now that everybody knows about you, or do you still have to market to the meeting planners to stay in front of them?
It's mostly about search engine optimization, because honestly, meeting planners, especially when it comes to emerging speakers, a meeting planner is not typically a professional meeting planner.
Right.
They are often just booking one event. They may be a volunteer for a charity or a youth group or a school, something like that. They're a volunteer. They have a job of finding a speaker for the next event, and then they never look for a speaker again for the rest of their life.
Okay.
Yeah. So what they do is they go to Google and they type in, leadership speaker Cincinnati.
Right.
And that's how they search.
So that's how you spend your time. It
wouldn't matter if I was sending postcards every day. Yeah.
Right. So how many major cities do you target?
We target the cities that our speakers are in. So when a speaker creates a profile on our site, everything on our site is optimized. So the speaker creates a profile. It doesn't matter what city they're in. That gets indexed in the search engines so that they're found.
Got it. Great. So you got nothing to do all day except count your money. Is that right?
It never ends, Tom. There's always some new technology that's available.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's all we do day or night too. But we were going to get to that question later, but now's a good time for it. Is what's a typical day look like for you?
So a typical day is always reviewing my goals at the beginning of the day. I have a calendar planner. I make sure that I keep track of my goals every week. I try and outline what I'd like to get done for the year. Definitely, well, I do outline what I want done for the year. I move those goals to monthly format, and then I try to put things into a weekly format to manage how I get everything done. And every day I review my goals.
So that's the first thing you do?
First thing I do and the last thing I do.
Oh, okay.
So I do it before I leave for the day as I go through what my day is going to look like tomorrow.
Okay.
And the next day, I just make sure that still makes sense. It may be quick, but I want to be sure that I am doing the most important things. And I try to get in some exercise every morning. I do just about every day during the week. I need to get up from my desk. So
right now, are you working out of your home?
That's a goal. I have an office outside of the home.
Okay, so you get up and go to work every day then, right?
I get up and go to work, and then I have to make sure that I am forcing myself to get up from my desk and do something.
Right.
So I exercise every day, and at least once a week, I make it a point to have lunch with somebody. So go out for lunch and it could be social, it could be to build the business a little, but something.
How far is the office away?
My office is about 10 minutes from my house.
Oh,
so
man, you're commuting. You're killing me, man.
It's right between my house and the kids' school, so it's really in a perfect place. Yeah. And then my days are generally divided up. I am not a good multitasker.
Okay.
So I have 5 main areas that I focus on: programming, marketing, finance and accounting, strategy planning, and networking. And I divide my days up to focus on one of those things.
Okay, so it's not all 5 each day. It's one thing each day.
I cannot do all 5 each day.
Yeah,
it's not possible. And I know that if I don't make a day for one of those things, then it's just not going to get
and that's
done.
Typical for somebody with your kind of mind, the programming. You can't do it for a couple minutes and then jump away, right? You got to really concentrate on things and get things done and have some continuity.
Right. Lately, I have been taking about an hour each day, about half an hour in the morning and half an hour at night to be on chat. We have a support system that has chat, and it helps me to kind of make sure that I really have a feel for what's going on with the business.
So this is chat with clients or who?
It's an online, so it's a support system. So anybody that comes to the site can chat with support questions. Questions about the service.
So you're really staying, keeping a feel of what's going on.
I'm on the front line. Yeah.
Good for you. Now, what kind of problems do people have? I mean, you've got this pretty much down where it's programmed and they can upload their own stuff, right?
Yes. So the biggest problems that our members have is how to craft a good response to a job, how to properly craft a profile, the message, so copywriting in their profile or in their program descriptions. They just want to make sure that they're doing the right things so that what they're writing is appealing to a meeting planner and is attracting the right kind of attention.
These aren't really technical glitches or anything. These are more of marketing stuff.
Yeah. For the members, the technical stuff is pretty much gone. If we have any issues, we tackle those very quickly. But the service is very stable. It's been stable for years. And then people that are the other side is the prospects that are coming in, and I guess it's both sides. We have speaker prospects and meeting planner prospects that just have questions about how to use the service or what kind of messaging they should use, what it takes to become a speaker.
And how are you marketing the speakers?
It's mostly online with so we have online advertising, search engine advertising. We use some services like Taboola and
sure.
Outbrain.
Yep.
LinkedIn. All the social networks have both the ability to post, in the channels and groups, and then posting ads through their services. So we do a lot of that, and then we use affiliate marketing also to some extent.
Now, I used Outbrain, but when I talked to Taboola a while back, they wanted some ungodly amount of money up front. Are they still like that?
No, they're the same format as Outbrain now.
Okay, because I said, whenever you guys decide to play with in my arena, let me know. But they were trying to do enterprise stuff and charging thousands of dollars just to hook up with them, and Outbrain was like pay per click. I said, well,
they're almost identical now. Yeah,
I see.
They're almost identical.
They straightened up a little bit now. So do you keep one of your criteria there was accounting and finance, right?
Yes.
So do you keep numbers like on the percentage of your gross for advertising and a percentage for payroll and things like that?
I'm very, very big into tracking. I am certainly a numbers guy. I hate accounting, but I do like having the statistics available. So I have lots of numbers that are in front of me. I have my own dashboard to see how the company is running and how things are going. I use a really great service for recurring membership. I highly recommend it to anybody that's putting together a recurring membership. Just a recurring membership service. Recurly is the name of the service I use.
We'll put everything in the show notes for everybody.
Yeah, it's a great service, and it does a really good job at providing statistics. As far as the rest of the expenses go, that is the office expenses, payroll, rent, all of that is just a very it's a set number really for me.
Yeah,
it doesn't change, so I don't need to really worry too much about tracking that.
Yeah, those are fixed expenses, but I just wondered if you varied the marketing expense compared to the gross or kept it at a max or something. So tell us about the actual service. What does it cost? What does somebody get if they hook up with you?
So basic service starts at $19.95 every 4 weeks, and that's to create a profile on our site so that, like I said, so meeting planners get a feel for who you are. It's a very basic profile. You have your picture, a biography, and one of your programs that you can list. And then you also get access to our job board, which is what meeting planners can use to post a request for speakers as an open call. So occasionally we have meeting planners that post that. It's usually about 2 or 3 a day that we have coming in from meeting planners. Also in every profile, any level that you're at, and we have silver, gold, and platinum, any level that you have has the ability, meeting planners have the ability through your profile to request information from you directly. And that's how most speakers are getting booked from our service. So a meeting planner goes in and types in etiquette speaker, Los Angeles. They'll go directly to your page. Typically, they'll just fill out a form saying, "I'd like to invite you to my to apply to my event."
Okay.
In the in that level service, the silver service, if you want to apply for any job that's an open call, it's $4.99 for each application.
Okay.
In our gold and platinum packages, you have unlimited applications at no additional fee. And each of those levels, the gold and platinum, have more features in the profile section so that you have a more robust profile. So the gold package lets you add some video, lets you add a blog, some slide shares, and then the platinum package allows an article library, a audio file library, and video applications, which is, in my opinion, one of the greatest features that we offer. And the video applications are similar to a video voicemail message. So when you apply to a message, it's a video that you attach to that application where you can speak directly to the meeting planner. You can say, "Tom, hi Tom, my name is Bryan, and I think I'd be really great for your event," because they get a real good sense for what you sound like, how you come across. So I love that. And then in our platinum package, I have just added, I bundled together some of the other services that I have. So I have a service called My Lead Guru and another one called Guest Match. And those services are for people that are looking for media attention.
Ah, okay. So that's a pretty broad range for emerging speakers in one place. And what's the range of prices for these services? You said it starts at 19 something a month, roughly.
So $19.95, $29.95, and $49.95 for the different levels.
Oh man, very, very inexpensive. Like I said, one decent job could pay for that for a couple of years, really. I mean, one decent job, the fee from one decent job could pay for it for 5 to 10 years, right? So amazing compared to. I mean, I don't know what else there's out there that would compete with this.
Yeah. Now I should say these are my holiday prices. So we're talking in December right now.
Oh, okay.
Give
us the whole range because it's hard to tell. People might listen to this 6 months from now as they look back. So it could range from what to what. Still a bargain, whatever it is.
Regular's not a whole lot more. It's $29.95, $49.95, and $74.95.
Yeah, exactly. This is still a chump change compared to one decent fee. Even one indecent fee, right, is still enough to pay a lot of this stuff. And now, once they get that lead, any follow-up jobs, they don't have, like a speakers bureau, they're not obligated to give you anything, right?
Not at all. So any money that you make through our service is yours to keep. I don't collect any commissions. There are no additional fees. It's just a fee to use the service, create a profile, and have something that's out there.
This is great. So have you ever been screwed over in business? And if so, what'd you do about it?
So do taxes count?
Taxes count, for sure. Yeah, they count.
Yeah, my mind will not really allow me to think that way, being screwed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't hold on to it. When we went to a hotel with our family recently, my brother-in-law lost a quarter in a video game machine, and he complained. The hotel wouldn't give him his quarter back, and so he stole a light bulb from the room. Like, he wants to get back. I am not that way at all. I'm just different. So I've certainly faced challenges. I've been wronged. I've been cheated. I've been stiffed. I've been lied to, but I don't dwell on it. I really just don't want to waste any time or energy getting back or getting even. I just learn from the experience and move on.
So that you're more careful the next time. Yeah. So how about anything funny or bizarre happening with all these people you've dealt with?
So my staff thought this was funny. I don't know if I think it's necessarily funny, but there may be a good lesson in here for people that are running a business. So someone threatened to complain about my service on Twitter to her huge list. It was like 50,000 plus followers if I didn't extend free service to her. So she only wanted to complain, and say something negative about me if I didn't give her a free service. Right. So I said, go ahead. She was just, she wanted free service, not because of anything other than the fact that she's important.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. And so I said, go ahead, write whatever you want. And so she posted something that was not so kind. And I wrote right back, I posted on her Twitter with the hashtag speaker match sucks. And it was a message that kind of, made light of it and basically said, we hate for you to have a bad experience. We're here to, do whatever we can. And she took down everything. She removed everything. So
some people, right?
Some people, and I think sometimes you just have to, I don't know. In my mind, I was thinking any exposure is good exposure, and what she is offering and what she's put out there is not so horrible.
Well, and so, a good person would have come and said, look, I got this really big following. How about we make a deal? And, that would have been.
Which I've done. I've certainly done that
totally.
before.
It's been totally upbeat for both parties, good feelings among everybody. And, everybody leaves with something happy rather than now that person, has to try to sleep with them, at night and knowing what they have done. So, terrible. So what do you like best about working for yourself, and what's the worst thing?
Best thing about working for myself is freedom.
Yep.
Absolutely. Freedom to work on my own time, on my own terms, freedom to make more money. When you have a real job, you have your salary and you got to go beg for a raise.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess unless you're on commission, I have freedom to make more money. Freedom to do the things the way that I want to. I don't have to get approval from someone higher up. Freedom to be creative. Freedom to travel, spend time with the family, exercise when I want to.
Is your family involved in the business at all?
Only during occasional campaigns when I have my kids do a video or recording.
Oh, that's
for me.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the worst part?
I'm accountable to me. And
you got a mean boss, huh?
Well, it means that deadlines often aren't real. So
right.
I can just decide to change the deadline. And I don't really consider myself to be a procrastinator, but I can be. And if anybody listening is a procrastinator and they're thinking of going into business for themselves, they need to have a partner that's going to, hold them accountable to things.
Is that why you have those other people? I noticed Paul was one corresponding with me, and I guess he made you get on at the right time, right?
There is absolutely some of that where there are things that I do not like to do, and it's great to be able to hand them off to others.
Right. When did you start bringing on people?
It was pretty soon after I started. So I started the business from my home in 2001. I got an office a little bit later, maybe 4 or 5 months later. I actually got an office because I wanted to bring in some help. I started to feel like I couldn't do everything myself. So it didn't take too long before I turned it around and was able to make a little bit of money. And it was enough to cover the rent, and I figured to pay a little something to somebody else. So I started with a student intern from UT, just a few hours a week, but I knew that I could start growing this thing. I saw potential.
UT, where are we talking about?
Oh, University of Texas.
Texas,
in Austin.
Okay, yeah.
I'm in Austin, Texas. Yeah. And that was actually a really good move for me. It was very scary to get an office outside the home. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't a terrible expense. It was if I recall correctly, it was something like $700 a month or so.
That's something in 2001 and your first venture.
Yeah, but it was great that I had that because it really gave me the motivation to keep it up because I couldn't possibly be late on my rent or anything.
Right, exactly. So, right. You can't procrastinate on the rent there.
That's right.
All right. So we got to take a little break for our sponsor message. And when we come back, I want to ask you how you stay motivated. So let me ask everybody out there, do you think it sounds like BS if I tell you could earn $100,000 in one speech? Hey, I admit on face value, it sounds like BS to me too. All right. But here's the reality. When there's at least 200 people in the crowd, I haven't pulled in less than that in any speech I've made in the past 16 years, sometimes as much as 250,000. And I know many of you listening to this would be happy with 100 times less than that. And I would have been too when I first started. But if you have the right topic and the right thing for the audience members to buy and the right training that isn't BS, this can be your reality. So check out the Wake 'em Up Video Professional Speaking System, where along with this course, I include one-on-one consultations to customize the program to you. So check out all the details at antion.com/speakervideo.htm, antion.com/speakervideo.htm, and we'll have that in the show notes. All right, let's get back to today's super guest. Bryan Caplovitz is the founder of Speaker Match, a great service for putting together speakers and clients. So Bryan, how do you stay motivated working for yourself?
Unquestionably, the way that I do it is by setting goals, writing down my goals, and looking at those goals very regularly. So that is by far the best advice that I have for anybody, because if you don't know where you're going, there's no way to get there.
Yeah, yeah, and most people I've ever read or heard about this said writing them down is the critical piece of it, right?
Yeah, writing them down and looking at them regularly.
Yeah,
that's important.
So you do it twice a day, and then do you scratch them off like a to-do list, or what? See, my mind game that I play on myself is that I have never reached a goal in my entire life, because as soon as I get anywhere near it, something appears past it, and so that's my goal, to keep scratching and clawing forward even when I don't have to anymore. So what do you do? How do you scratch them off, or what? How do you do it? What if you achieve one, and then do you have a party, or what?
I like to see things getting done. So I will put down as many steps as I realistically need to get something done, so that I can check something off at least every day. I want to be sure that I'm making progress.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have a really big project or a big task that I need to tackle, I'll break it down into smaller chunks so that I have things that I can check off my list.
All right. Now, do you do that 7 days a week, or do you say, okay, Friday, weekend is family time, or how do you, a lot of entrepreneurs are 24/7.
Yeah, that's a great question. I did not want to be like that. I absolutely have never been like that. That's one of the best tips that another one of the best tips that I have, and that is leave work at work. You have to be able to compartmentalize and spend time on specific things that are important to you: exercise, family, mindfulness. Identify what's important to you. But family is very important to me. I cut off work. When I leave the office, which is typically at about 5:30 or so every night, I leave the office and work is at work. Then I'm home with the family, and I do not work weekends.
Okay, and what? But when you are the bottom line for a company, what kind of emergency things do you have in place? If the site goes down, do you get automatic notice, or who does something about it?
Yeah, I have everything automated so that I'll get pinged right away
Right.
if there is some kind of emergency.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Justin and Paul here to kind of back things up, and they have a different mindset, different goals than I do. So they may be available, on a different schedule.
Good.
So Justin is actually in another country right now. He's in Scotland, where he's in grad school. And he's happy to do things whenever something pops through on his radar. So he's just at a different stage in his life.
Everybody gets notice if there's a technical glitch?
Yes, which is really almost never now.
Yeah,
almost
you got it
never.
down.
Well, and just technology has improved so much.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be that recovering from a database crash could be a day event and lots of money. And it's not anymore. Now it's a couple of clicks to just kind of go back to where it was.
I learned a hard lesson back in the early days. I started when the commercial internet started in '94, and this hosting company said, "Yeah, we have battery backup for 10 days, and your site's backed up to tape, and we're buried underground for hurricanes and stuff." And so they went down, and I thought, okay, well, good, they got a backup. Yeah, 10 days later, they found it out of the millions of websites, and I was down for 10 days because of it. So, you got to keep local backups and be able to restore stuff when necessary, because 10 days without income, it's like you've disappeared off the face of the earth, especially if you got members you have to keep, happen.
Yep, and I've read lots of stories about people that have lost their businesses because of backup issues.
Exactly. Yeah, everybody makes it as the last thing, but that's one of the most important things that you have to do. So, what parting thoughts do you have for any? We call them screwballs that listen to this thing, and about overall in business, and if they're sitting in that cubicle wishing, man, I'd love to have a life like that guy. What would you tell them?
So if you're interested in starting your own business, set goals, be organized, track your progress regularly, and remember, it is definitely about the money. You have to keep your eye on that bottom line. And if you're starting a business, if you're thinking of starting a business, you need to know what it will take to give up. that specific goal or give up on that idea. You have to be able to walk away and not continue driving forward when all the signs are saying it makes sense to walk away.
Yeah. And so many people say, just do what you like and the money will come. No, it will not. Right. No, it will not. If that money doesn't come in or nobody else wants what you are so thrilled about, you are not in business anymore. You have an expensive hobby. That's what you have. So
I'll say it's a part of it. I'll say that you can probably find a way to do what you like and make money.
Well, I did it. I had a practical joke company after I got out of the nightclub business where I had bikers trying to kill me. I thought, I'm going to do, I was in over 100 violent encounters, 2 gunfights and knife fights and all that stuff. And I thought, when I get out of this, I'm going to do something that's fun for me and fun for everybody else. And I started a practical joke company long before punk. I got the idea of a candid camera, and we did 4,000 jobs. But so it was a lot of fun, and I could make money with it. But not everything is like that. You need to get some good advice. Although, don't take advice from people that never done anything. Don't ask your friends, because they're all working in cubicles and not gonna take a chance and do something like this. So ask other entrepreneurs.
It's like the people that get parenting advice that have never had kids.
Yeah, and I'm guilty of that. But I acted one time as a reporter. I said, "Hey, I'm not a parent, and I don't know what you're going through, but I know these people you're sending me to get jobs are worthless slugs, and it's your fault." so I got away with that. But you got to get people that are entrepreneurs to talk to you and help you evaluate the ideas and things like that. But whatever it is, if you want to be an entrepreneur, this is the best time on earth with the powerful tools we have, and they're inventing new stuff every day. I mean, we didn't have social media when we started. When you started your business, there was not even a blog. They didn't come around until 2004. So
I didn't even realize that. Wow.
You were long before blogs came around 2004, maybe a little bit before that, but not in 2001. We didn't have any of the social media stuff, anything. So this is the best time on earth. So check out the show notes, because if you have any inkling of being a speaker, this service is just unbelievably a good deal. Because I can teach you a million ways to blow thousands and thousands of dollars and never see one stage ever. Okay, I'd be happy to, but no, I really wouldn't. I'd rather send you to Bryan, and at least you have a great chance, and you're surrounded by others. You're getting into the speaking world, and you're not breaking the bank to do it with a lot of these people that'll take you for a ride. So, Bryan, thanks so much for coming on, man. I can't. I'm thrilled about all your successes all these years, and hope a lot of people hear this and come over and use your service.
Well, thank you, Tom.
All right, so everybody, this has been episode 68 with Bryan Caplovitz of Speaker Match. You'll see all his details in the show notes, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Leave us a review over at iTunes. And if you don't know how to do that, you can visit screwthecommute.com, and we teach you how to do it. So there you go, and I'll see you all on the next episode. Catch you later.